All right, boys, we are back. Episode 17, both sides of the line. I've got my right-hand man in Azza.
I'm sitting on your left, mate.
Yes, and I've also got DJ, who's our family member and one of us, and we've got him actually in the studio in Melbourne, and we are lucky to have you here, mate, and we're rapt to have you. So,
absolutely,
both guys welcome. But Azza,
me first.
How's the week been?
Week's been great. I got away on the weekend and did some fishing.
Yeah.
Caught some fish, nothing worth.
What did you go to the fish and chip shop to buy the fish, or did you actually catch the fish?
You're an idiot. No, I got up nice and early with the sun, with the old man, and wet a line. It was good fun, actually very relaxing. So I got a bit of sun too. Yeah, you can probably tell. Well, you also as red as my top, nearly.
Yeah, the forehead's a bit red, mate.
but we can see the forehead now because he's actually had a clean up, DJ.
Yeah, I've had a haircut.
We've had some issues. So how'd you go to the hairdresser? How'd you cope with it? How'd you deal with it?
I was sitting there a while.
Yeah, it was a danger zone.
It was a danger zone. Yeah, I think I wasn't the only person in there, which was a post-lockdown do. There was a lot of men and women in there.
Did they find a tribe in there of I think they would have found something there, mate. Were they shocked?
They were shocked at how thick it still is, so it's good. I'm not going to go bald anytime soon, mate. Not like yourself. So
I'm happy. It's called maintenance free, mate. I don't have to worry about the wind, the gel. The gel. How much does it cost you on gel a week?
Oh, mate, I barely put any gel.
I mean, but you barely means you do use some. So how much do you spend on gel a week?
Not a week. Come on, it lasts nearly 3 or 4 months, mate.
Okay,
just a little bit.
Well, it does look nice.
I try and make myself look okay, but not as good as this guy here on my left. He's a good-looking rooster.
We do have a stud muffin here, mate. I'm pretty. If I was that style, I'd have a crack at him. He's a good source. So, DJ, how are you, mate? What's going on?
I'm good, man. Good to be back. 16 months too long since I was last in Victoria. So, no, I'm good to see the family. Good to see a lot of friends. But happy to be back, mate.
So, was this a planned thing or a on-the-spot decision? And you getting back to Melbourne, or was it part of the plan?
Nah, I think it was just happened all of a sudden. With the borders opening up tomorrow, I'm able to fly back without quarantining, which is a good thing. So the Sydney Kings actually allowed me to come back home for 10 days or so because I haven't been back. And, this will probably be the only time I do come back for, I don't know how long, because once the season starts, it'll get busy. So, no, man, I'm just happy to be back.
What's it like now? You've brought back in the family environment. You haven't, even though you're a very close family, video conferences, phone calls, texts. It's not the same as being face to face. What was it like being face to face once again with the family after such a long time?
I think it was kind of weird at the start because I didn't know how to react. Like,
you've changed.
Yeah.
You've changed, DJ.
So like you see your mum and dad, and like I was happy, but like you can't really express the emotion like at the time. But like once you sit down and kind of just soak it all in, and like, damn, I'm back home finally with my family. It's been a long, 16 months. Like, damn, like that's just how I felt. Like it was good to be back, man.
Yeah. And you're going back when?
I go back tomorrow morning.
So how's that feel? Is that a bit of a sad thing that you're going back, or you feel that happy you've seen them? You've had that reconnection, go back to Sydney. You feel better going back now?
Yeah. I mean, my sister's going to come back with me for a week or so, which is a good thing. So she'll get, spend some time with me up in Sydney. But, now it's back to business. So, I get paid to play. So I got to go back and, help the Kings try and win a championship.
Well,
like that. Big goals.
So, Azza, what's it like now that we're actually face to face with DJ? Like you said,
an NBL player.
We did some video stuff, and
yeah.
Well, last time we actually saw him, he wasn't actually an NBL player.
Well, that's true, isn't it?
It was.
So when that sort of happened, what?
During
2 months ago?
Yeah, 2 months ago.
2 months ago, DJ.
Yeah, I think it was July I signed the contract. So, yeah.
So last time he was in the house, it was just DJ. Who's DJ?
Yeah.
Well, now he's someone. He signed something. That's DJ.
Nah,
so now I've got to look up to him now. So what are your thoughts?
He's a great looking rooster. I'll tell you that. He's a great looking rooster. He's in good shape. He looks like he's ready to rumble, mate. He looks like he's ready to make it rain up at Sydney.
It looks like me deep within. Cut well and looking half sharp, but on the outside, I look that way. But on the inside, I feel that way.
Yeah. So DJ, you got a big season coming up.
Yeah.
What's your feelings about where you're at right now going into the season? Because you probably haven't played competitive basketball for how long now? When was your last competitive game?
March 11th.
Far out. That's a long time. Like a lot of our young athletes haven't competed since March. That was the last time we were actually competing. So how do you feel about it? Is it a gradual build up, or is it we're into it now? We're doing a hard slog. We're really physical. We're doing a lot of work. How does it sort of play out for you now?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's good to be with the Kings, this and this, but like it's going to be a different environment once we start playing. I think it's been a very, very long time since anyone's ever played, even the Kings dudes. They were probably 2 or 3 days after me, when their season got cut short, and Perth ended up winning the title. So we're all ready to rumble. You know, we've actually organised a few preseason games, which kind of gives us some hope of, you know, playing against someone else other than each other at practice. So, it's cool, man. I just can't wait.
Legend. Sounds
Hey,
good.
just a question, because I haven't been really following it late because I've been in my own focus on the business. So Adelaide and Brisbane had a couple of games, which is when's your first practice match?
I think ours is scheduled for the 22nd or the 23rd of December.
Is there a reason? Is it
That's a
because
long
of borders? And is that just how it is, or is there a reason why two teams are start a lot earlier than the others?
I mean, I think it's just because of the borders. Queensland and South Australia were able to travel back and forth,
Right,
and obviously Queensland and New South Wales haven't opened the border with each other's yet. So, I mean, it's just how the way it played out, I guess. But I think our situation will be good. I think we'll either play, Wollongong, or we'll play a couple of Melbourne teams once the borders open up. So it'll be good for us.
And when's the start date? Is the season open?
January 15th, I think they're going to announce it, and then December 3rd they'll come out with the schedule.
Just not that far away when you think about it.
No, not at all. That's
Yeah,
good
you feel,
coming.
we've had all this dead time and short, it's been going on, but now it feels like everything's just happening at once. Like that's not far away.
Yeah.
The VJBL we think is
they're
not far
trying to
away.
push
Domestics
through.
think not far away.
Mm.
Like all this long wait now it feels like bang, 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 everything's happening.
Yeah.
And what I get concerned about is all going to happen too much, too quick, too soon.
Yeah, we've got to be careful.
And then what's going to happen if we go backwards again? What happens there? We're all got the momentum. We're all ready to go. He's itching to play. What if we get close and they change that in line like they have done before?
Well, that's possible. It could be a moving beast at the best of times right now. I think so. From a VJBL perspective, they want clubs to start having tryouts in the next couple of weeks, get it all done before Christmas, and then at the moment it's proposed that they start mid-January, which is very unusual because a lot of families do try and spend a lot of time away in January. You usually sort of come back at the back end of January, and you usually launch into a tournament just to get things moving again. But I think it's going to be very different this time around. The concern will be athletes not having really done anything competitively for the best part of nearly 7 months, 7 or 8 months by the time you rock around the tryouts. And I think for player welfare, you got to manage that sort of soft transition back into it, don't you? You can't just go full ball competing straight away.
Well, like we discussed a few weeks ago, coaches are going to be eager as well to implement their new ideas. They're going to want, X, Y, and Z implemented and done and dusted, because if VJBL starts sooner than later, everyone's going to try and ramp up everything too quick, too soon. And DJ, you're a junior of VJBL, so you understand how it works, and Azza, and it's pretty, I like the concept of the grading phase and how you got to get to where you end up is where you virtually end up.
Yeah.
It just makes sense that you've gone through a trial and process.
Yep.
My thought would be the simplest decisions, we've had chat about this earlier.
Yep.
So we're in evens numbers, 16s, 18s, so forth.
Yeah.
So we finished in, I think, March.
Yeah, it was
the season. So we finished the last grading phase, and we didn't start the season.
Yeah, well, I think VC, they got one game. We got one game.
One game in, right? Yeah. So my theory is, why don't we just say, well, you know what? Change it to odds. We don't lose a year. We actually stay where we were. We start back in February and let the season start from where it left off. Therefore, there's no tryouts. No major overhaul.
Yeah. We
can then manage our kids as a team slowly and progressively over a period of time. We avoid that panic, stressful pressure to perform expectations tryouts. I think we'll manage our bears and minds better. And we can just say, you know what? Our team's still together. Let's manage it slowly up till Christmas. Ramp it up in January.
Yeah.
And be ready in February.
Yeah.
And you don't need to worry about all these different things that they're trying to create. You don't have to worry about the numbers within a roof space. Your team, there's no tries, there's no excess of numbers.
Yeah.
I thought that would be a pretty simple solution. What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I kind of agree, man. Like, you haven't played a full season yet, everything's set up to go. Like, why not just
continue?
Yeah, continue to go. Even with like national championships, kids missed out a year. Why not bring that year back? And I mean, we're all living 2020 is the most probably difficult year anyone's ever gone. So why not change it just because of what's going on and give people the chance to, kind of perform. And, some people want to go to college, so they kind of needed the national championships to kind of prove themselves and stuff like that. So why not keep doing it?
Club championships as well.
Yeah, everything.
Which is big.
So why not do it? But at the end of the day, I don't make the decisions. We don't make the decisions. All we can do is form our opinion, and it's up to whoever's in charge to do it. So,
well, example, you play state, you play Australia, you've represented different things. How'd you be knowing you made the state team in 2020 but never got to play for the state? That might, unfortunately, be the only chance you get, but you never got to wear it. Yeah, you're part of it. This gives that chance, but no one can miss out on anything that was in their basketball journey.
Yeah.
That's just, like you said, it's just an idea. but it sounds maybe it sounds too simple, too logical.
It sounds simple when we talk about it. I think
there's more to it that we don't know.
There's more to it. And I think when you look at it from Basketball Australia as a whole, you'd have to change the age groups in all of the states. And unfortunately for us, being Victoria, we haven't had the opportunity to compete, but I think the other states have been competing. So they've pretty much carried on a little bit as business as usual, which is great for them. So you'd have to have a nationwide sort of change up
under one umbrella
with the age groups. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to change that way because it aligns to how FIBA does it internationally, isn't it? You're under 17s, under 19s where you start to compete at international level. So it's interesting. It's difficult. I think the concern is just rushing straight back into it. And, a lot of clubs and teams and people are probably going to make some wrong decisions as well. But I think people are going to have to be really accepting that there will be decisions made that are perhaps not right at the time, but you can only go with what you see out in front of you in the limited space and time you have. And yeah, people are just going to have to be really open-minded and just remember to be grateful that we're back competing and playing the game that we love to play. I think.
I agree.
I know.
No. I definitely agree, man. Like, no one's played since March. So, like,
yeah,
you got to keep in mind not to rush things in too quickly. But at the end of the day, people are eager to get back and play and compete and stuff like that. So,
yeah, that's it.
You got to look at both sides.
You got to remember that. So, when you say March, but there was no January, December. So, a lot of kids, there's 2 months prior that they didn't play. So, there's been minimal game time since December last year.
Yeah.
Because, they got to play at the end of January, start of February, and then stopped again. So there's even a break before that, which is the normal break we have.
Yep.
But hey, going back to you now. So unfortunately, a good opportunity for Will Weaver. Opportunity, probably a lifetime that you probably want to support that decision for anyone. So what's it like knowing that you've come across? Again, you always say we can, so we're not trying to go into any details. We don't want to know who might coach, who doesn't coach. What's it like knowing now the coach is not there? We're waiting to see, or you're waiting to see who the coach will be announced. What's that feeling like for you, knowing that you probably come across because you had a good relationship with the coach, the Kings, you love the whole franchise, all that stuff. How does it make you feel now with all that scenarios in play?
I think it's business as usual, man. Like in the athlete world, like anything can change anytime. Like you see in the NBA, players get traded, coaches get fired after a certain amount of games. So like, Will didn't get fired. He just got a great opportunity to go be a lead assistant for the Houston Rockets, and we're not going to, say, no, hey, come coach us. Like, man, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And we pushed him to go overseas and do his meetings and stuff like that. But, we're very proud of him. And now it's on us players to kind of, regroup and kind of just get our focus back of trying to, try and win a championship. And whoever becomes the next coach, we just adapt and we just got to keep performing because, hey, they pretty much brought their whole team back like they did last year and just included a couple of new guys. So, I'm trying to adapt to them and kind of just follow in their footsteps.
What's it like for the coach to come to you guys and say, look, guys, we need to have a chat. I've made a decision. It must be hard for him to have gone through that process because, he's doing a personal transition of what he needs to do and what he's trying to achieve. But also he created a good organisation last year from where they were the year before he took over. What would have been hard for him? How was that process for him reaching out to you guys and saying, hey, guys, I'm going to have to step aside and go this way? Was it easy for him, or was it just you're all great about it?
I think it was hard because he did it over the phone because he was still in the States.
Right.
So
back here. Yeah, sure.
He called and you could tell like he was a little, choked up, a little emotional, going, oh, look, I was only there for a year. I created all these good memories. He's left a legacy. Like they finished first and just missed out on the championship. So like he's already created a culture of, bringing me in, bringing a couple of young guys in, staying the same team. Like, some coaches don't do that. You play 1 year and then there's a whole rebuild or new change and everyone's leaving or going, stuff like that. So he's done a fantastic job on his end. Now it's our turn to kind of keep his legacy in and keep his physiology thing going. So we're going to keep doing it on our end.
Gives you connection in America too, mate. So it's good.
Mate, you never know what happens. 2020 has been a rough year and, I wish COVID never happened or I actually would have had a, chance in the NBA, but it is what it is now. I just got to make the most of my opportunity, and I just keep playing in the NBL, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, talk about what you just said, Dan, that we wish COVID didn't happen, which I don't think any of us wish it happened.
No.
But it has also given us a chance to reflect and maybe look at things differently that we never get the chance to do. Like, before COVID, I saw things a certain way.
Yeah.
Now COVID's finished. Not that I've changed. I just see things differently. Who I'm going to connect with, who I'm not. And, when you see, well, this is what I really want out of my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes things like that to happen for us to actually take the next step forward. So, DJ wants his dreams and goals. And it wouldn't have been easy thinking, you could have had this opportunity or that opportunity, but it gives us a chance to work out, you know what, this is where I'm going to head. These are the things I am going to put in place. But while we're still in that moment of, go, and we wake up and do the same thing, it gives us a chance to stop, reset, reevaluate, and truly reset to see what are our true goals we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And most importantly, who with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
What are your
sense.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, we've spoken about it before, haven't we, Dad? So, I've sat down, you sort of make a little bit of a list around all the things that you're sort of doing or participating in. And then I was able to actually, put some lines through things that weren't adding any real sort of value to my life. And
did you put a line through me?
Well, I'm still here with you, mate. So I guess you didn't get a line put through your name just yet, but we'll see how that goes.
The pen was there.
Look, there was a big question mark there, and I thought, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. No, so look, I mean, that's what we've had to do in general, but it might be a little bit different for someone like DJ. Coming from where you come from in the States, you finished your time in Miami, now you're with the Kings. Is it more or less, have you found for yourself that you've had the time to sit and reflect and think about the way you approach things or the way you're going about things or who you sort of been interacting with, whether it was more, a deeper relationship or it was more transactional, for example?
I think it's more just, I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend and her parents, and you kind of figure out like how much family means in a time like this. And, obviously I was thinking about my family at home and, them being in lockdown and not being able to do anything, where in America it's wear a mask and, go about your day as usual. Yep. But at the end of the day, you're trying to make sure everyone's, okay and taken care of. And, you don't want them to get sick. That's the main thing, because a lot of people are dying. Especially in America, there's a lot of cases, a lot of deaths. Same thing in Europe where my parents are from. So you kind of just like go, all right, shit, look, this is life, and family means the most important thing.
Yeah.
So like, if basketball was to go on, I would have stepped away and gone, oh, look, family probably is the most important thing at this time, and you got to take care of them. But, you just got to sit back and reflect and stuff like that. So I was able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with as I say about like how you see things, so with your trainings and your commitments and, go to Sydney Kings, and like you said, what could have been pre-COVID? You could have gone this way, maybe instead of that way. Has it really changed the way you focus on your goals, or you just realign your goals so you adapt according to what happens? So might have a goal for next week or a goal for in 12 months' time. But those goals sometimes have to change because things or consequences that I can't control make me have to change the way I feel, see, or act on things. So within your sport, has it really changed much, or are you still going in the right direction you want to go, or do you think you've been you've taken a step off, you've taken a small detour to where you want to go, or are you still heading in the same direction? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm still heading in the same direction. The NBA is the overall goal where you want to head, but there's always little things you got to overcome. So me coming to the NBA was never a plan, pre-COVID.
Right.
I was always going to give Summer League a shot. There were teams that wanted me there, go in, work out, and kind of give it a crack. But now, since COVID, I've had to kind of reflect and, come back to Australia where, look, we're having no COVID cases, life's back up and running. When you look at Europe, teams are canceling games. NBA's about to play in pretty much with no fans. LA said no fans at all at their stadium. So it's like, look, I'm fortunate to come back and play here, but it doesn't change where I want to be. So I just have to keep kind of just pushing forward and be the best version of myself, and just try and make it next year.
Yeah, I think something that he touched on was the goal was still the same, but probably the road just took a little bit of a detour.
Yeah,
And
the road's never always going to be a straight line, mate.
No,
it's going to swivel all around. Mate, I might not make the NBA until I'm 30, 31, but if I make it and I can stay there for 2-3 years, I've achieved that. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to make myself proud, make my family proud, become the best version of myself, inspire the young next generation. Like, oh, look, this is a kid from Werribee, played domestic, has gone through. I've been cut multiple times. Like, I'm going to college, had a great career after people said, like, look, he won't be able to compete, and just keep proving people wrong. And I think I've done a great job, and, I have a great support cast, with my family, Gemma and her family. Like, that's what made me realize, like, family is the most important thing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And the reason why I probably went down, I probably didn't realize until now, we got a lot of kids coming in going that where they were is where they're not. They're so worried about that they've gone backwards. I said, but hang on a second. Even though we've gone a little bit of a detour, we've all gone through the same detour. to different circumstances. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
So it's not as if that because you missed out from pre-COVID, but we've all missed out. In other words, so it's not as if you didn't make the summer league. It's not as if you didn't get the opportunity at NBA because it's just because COVID-19. Some people are seeing it for the wrong reasons, where they think, well, I've missed my moment. No, we've all been paused in our journey of goals.
Yep.
We've just got to re-navigate how to get back
That's
there.
right.
But we've all missed out on that opportunity. We've all haven't been able to progress to where we want to progress to, but we're all in that similar situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, you haven't missed out because you tried it and failed. All COVID-19's done is just paused everything. You can still get back onto the same path.
Yeah.
It's just going to take a little longer than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And everyone's in the same boat.
Same
Like
time-
businesses,
same timeline.
athletes, everyone's in the same boat. Everyone has to kind of restructure or take another detour just so they can get back on that road where they want to go.
So basically, our timelines have been altered, but all of our timelines have been altered. Not one person is advancing more than the other.
Yeah.
Well, they might have done a little bit extra in the time, but no one's done it to the level that you should be doing it at.
Yeah. So it's a change in the roadmap, right? Yeah. So Dazza, this is probably a question for you because you're probably really closer than myself right now, and DJ's obviously doing his thing. With young athletes come back in the door now, is there a level of stress or anxiety you sort of maybe touched on it then, or is there a level of optimism? What are you sort of seeing and feeling
Well,
generally across the board, or is it just an array of different things? Talk to us about that.
So, and this is not a negative to, I'm going to do this as a generic conversation when I say parents, okay?
Yeah.
The good thing about what's worked well for us is we're doing a live schedule every Friday because every time a week comes by, something else opens up, which means there's potentially another clash. So people are trying to still maneuver things. So what we said, every Friday, look at your week, then put your kid in, and we'll train them individually in a small group environment. No parents allowed in. The reason why it's been so positive, as a kid walks in, and parents don't realize this, so I'm not knocking parents. I get we all think we're trying to do the right thing. So DJ's my son. I walk in and say he's been lazy, he hasn't done this, you need to kick him out the backside. You need to push. That kid's getting broken in front of the coach. So they've already walked on that court feeling deflated and flat going, oh my God, I'm about to get,
Does that happen a lot? So when you say that, my son's not doing this or my daughter's not doing this or that, does that happen? We're not naming names here, of course, but do you observe that happens?
Happens an awful lot.
Wow.
And a lot of the parents aren't even basketball specifically. They don't
know the game. Yeah.
And they might want me to yell at the kid. I'm not going to yell at the kid. I'll be loud like I am to encourage and inspire the kid. But I'll listen. Yeah, no worries. But then I'll take the kid personally, and then we have our own little interaction, and then we create that relationship. Because no parents in, they're walking in, so everyone's in the same boat. No one's been all this negative conversation. We've had the best training sessions. The last two, and I expect it to be hard and try and get them going and get them motivated. And we've pushed them to a degree, like I said to you earlier today, as is.
Yeah.
We train for an hour, but for 30 minutes, they probably train hard. But we have a lot of breaks, keep the body moving. So we keep the body warm. We get the heart rate up, we deaccelerate, we increase it, at the right measure to each person. So if DJ's super fit, he'll give me 100% of 100%. You're struggling a little bit, you'll give me 80%.
Well, that's probably pretty realistic.
Yeah. But you'll give me the 100% of that 80%.
Yeah, that's right.
Where you're at.
Yeah.
So we know that. I don't need a parent to tell me that. I know where a kid's at, age, whatever. Just do what you can to the level you can do it at, just so you can keep enjoying it and want to come back. It's been the best train ever.
Yep.
The best energy, the best atmosphere. It's been amazing.
Okay.
I'm not blaming parents, but we had to be very careful coming back that we were demanding to push the kids. We're demanding to get the kids back ready for tryouts. It's not my job. I'll do what I can in the time frame I have to get the kid where I can in the time I have them with. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't put pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Because a parent says X, Y, Z. We know what we can do with each kid individually and within the group. But yeah, I thought it'd be a lot harder.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that. We thought, 6 months of no competition or structured training, or maybe some athletes, I'm sure, had a structured approach to the way they did things, but that might be the 10% that did, or 20%. It's the other 80 or 90 that you go, well, I don't know what this is going to look like.
Well, maybe DJ can jump on this one.
Yeah.
We get a lot of kids who worry about where they were pre-COVID. So me personally, we'll talk about shooting as an example. If you don't stress about your shot and you feel comfortable with your shot, you actually shoot better because you're not putting expectations, miss and mades, how you do your stats. So I don't look at it as a miss and made straight away. It's form. If you hold your form, that's a made. If you drop your form, that's a miss. The results will come later. So we'll go through a little bit of a process before we go result-driven. A lot of kids have come back because they haven't done so much. There's less expectations on them themselves. They know they're going to struggle with a bit of dribbling.
Well, that's a good thing.
They know they're going to struggle with their shooting. So there's probably that 10, 15% that are going, I can't shoot anymore. So they're putting pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
But the ones who've come back, accepted, I've been out of the game for so long, let's just enjoy it and get back to it. And that's shown. Did that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, the more you train, the more expectation you put on yourself. The more you need your results, get your percentages up, and you do you get your own little system. But sometimes is it good to know you can go into a training session and not really worry about that and just feel the form, just feel it, that you can just feel it and not have any stress on yourself. Is there a difference when you feel that way?
Yeah, I think if you can go on a workout stress-free and just go in and go relaxed and, I'm here to get better, like whatever happens, happens, but I'm going to give, the effort. I think that's where like you perform better.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'm going in like, all right, look, miss a make, like, yeah, I'll get frustrated, but I'm not going to let it, bite me and, keep worrying about it because it's practice. Like, this is not a game. Like you're expected to miss in practice and you practice the way you play. So for me, it's coming in, having fun, working hard, and then, what happens in the game happens and you just learn from it. So
Yeah.
when I have a clear head, it's way better than, thinking too much.
Can you expand on something for me? So if you could go to a training session now, can you understand or explain to people that may be listening that just because you miss, it doesn't mean it's a bad shot. Just because you make, it doesn't mean it's a good shot. People look at the miss and mades far too greatly to realize where their shot's at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We had a young kid the other day, no names. He goes, I'm just not shooting consistently. I said, because every time you miss, you think you need to change your shot. If you hold your correct form 5 times, watch what happens. So he found a form he made 5 from 5. But every time he misses, what's the first thing he does? He makes a change or a massive overhaul. Where some kids just need to hold the form, get the rhythm, and then the results will come.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Sometimes just because you miss, it doesn't mean it was a bad shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're aiming for the middle of the ring and you hit the backboard and it goes in, it's a bad shot because it wasn't your target. Well, a good shot. You're going, well, was it? But just don't do it again.
Yeah.
If you aim for the ring and you hit the backboard, you're shooting long. So if you shoot the short corner, you're going to wonder why you're shooting over the ring.
Yeah.
I need kids to hear that the miss and mades doesn't always determine where their shot truly is at. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Well, that's something DJ can maybe talk to because DJ, you're at the high level now. But as an athlete,
and we think you can shoot. We think you can.
He can.
There's a small glimpse.
You
of
watch this guy.
Okay.
Gee whiz. So you've been through periods. I'm sure there's been self-doubt, or you've gone through some lean patches. Shooters do for whatever reason. Talk us through that. How have you come out the other side of those situations?
I think
is there a general thing you stick to? Or
I
is it depending on where your mindset's at, it'll be different little things?
As a shooter, we always put pressure on ourselves to, try and make every shot or, shoot our best every night. And it's not going to happen. You see the likes of, Steph Curry, he'll have a night where he's 0 of 12 and he won't hit a 3, but then the next night he comes out 12 of 12, 13 of 13. It's because they forget, they move on, and they go on the next day into the gym and go, all right, look, this is a new day, fresh start. Let's not worry about tomorrow. It's already happened, because you can't go back in time and fix, something that's gone wrong. That's real life. Like, you just got to kind of move forward and live on and kind of work through and learn from it. And, I'm going through something a little now, Daz, you know what it is. And so it's kind of, when you go out there to shoot the next day, just go in there and work hard, clear your head, and just work out. What I love doing the most, I blast music as loud as I can in the gym and just shoot. Because for me, music is the therapy while I shoot. So for me, AirPods, speaker, whatever, blast as loud as you can. You start singing to yourself slowly, and you kind of, run around the court, dancing a little, doing all these moves, and it seems fun again. And then you're like, oh damn, well, I don't know what happened yesterday. Now I'm all juiced up, and the next day you go out and it's like, all right, I'm all full energetic and just go out there and hoop again. So that's what I do, and how I approach games.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That
the way I see it, right? The kid is so you're talking about a game. Let's talk about a shot now. Kids are so worried about the missed shot, it's going to impact the next shot, which is going to amplify the problem for the following shot.
Yeah.
Where you just go and say that was a shot, the next shot is a new shot. So the next one, we just can't. We live so much in that last shot that had such an impact, it has a layer effect. Yeah. We don't intentionally miss shots, but we learn we can do better. But I see kids. So we had a kid yesterday. He's strongly shot. No, but the kid can shoot when he's focused and not strong, but he gets frustrated. So the way his shoulders, the head drops.
Yeah, it tightens up and whatnot.
He shot this amazing shot. He was fighting through it, and I was like, let him make his little changes, hit the shot they were after. His head was still dropped. His shoulders were still down because he was so worried about the previous 5 shots.
Wow. Yeah.
That moment should have been that igniting switch. Says, hey, I can do this, and then the flow should come. But we still get stuck in the past.
Yeah.
That's why doing that project, my yesterday, which me and DJ went through the other day.
Righto. Yep.
My yesterday is not my tomorrow. We went through that. And I've done
Beautiful.
with you.
Yeah.
It's the same as a shot. My yesterday is not my tomorrow. The shot's the same concept.
Yeah.
The last shot doesn't have to be the next shot, or it can be. How you think about it determines what you do with it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think mentally,
that's the main problem.
That's the main problem with everyone. Like, if we start to get in our heads and start to worry about other things, and it'll affect you, you know, moving forward. And I mean, that's what I'm trying to learn now, is like how to move forward and stay positive and keep hooping at a high level, you know. So yeah, that's just something to, think about. But
even with you, DJ, and we won't go why, but we go through things in life, whether it be confidence, whether it be whatever it is. I don't wake up every day going, I'm going to conquer the world. Sometimes I wake up in the day, so I just don't know how I'm going to be challenged today. I just don't know how I'm going to deal with what comes my way today. So I'm in a different mindset. Games are the same, training's the same, and we need to adapt to accordingly. So I need to know how you're feeling today, how DJ's feeling today, and how do I work with that?
Yeah.
But we've got to go in knowing that we will have feelings of doubt. But the best thing about that is how we overcome that doubt. Or like me and DJ spoke about the other day about the fact and the illusion thought. I think you're thinking something when it's not actually fact.
Yeah, I get you.
DJ said something, that's fact, that's not an illusion. We sometimes get so worried about the thoughts that may not exist, but in my mind, I'm going to exist.
Yeah.
The coach thinks I'm X, Y, Z. Well, in fact, the coach never said it, never thought it, but I've already created that mindset. Parents are the same. That's where the mind is so delicate. If we can just overcome those boundaries and work on what's facts, deal with the situation and get through that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense or not?
Yeah, it's the hardest thing, I think, it just generally as people, and DJ may be able to explain a bit more as a professional athlete, is just staying in the moment of where you are despite what may be happening outside of you.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
I call it the outer noise.
The outer noise, yeah, that white noise that you create yourself or amplify yourself. It may not be as bad as what you think it could, what you think it is. I see every Friday night when I'm coaching my guys is, one of my guys who's a shooter goes 0 for 4 his first 4 shots, and then that's it for the game. Like, they find it so hard just to stay in the moment, stay in the game, just the next play at a time, instead of worrying about the shot that you had 3 shots ago, which is just snowballed from there. It's the hardest thing to do as a person as an athlete. I think maybe DJ can jump in. Just that just stay within yourself, stay in the present, and just try and find ways to block out that white noise.
I mean, there's always going to be noise there.
There is, yeah.
It's just the way how you handle it, and I think it's not taught that much in the game.
Yeah,
that's the point.
That's it. It's not.
It's so focused on the X and O's. We don't worry about what's causing the breakdown in the X and O's or the results of what we do and what we don't do.
Yeah,
agree?
Yeah. Remember when we did that podcast with all the coaches, and we talked about how do we handle the outside noise, and a lot of coaches try and get to know their players before they actually start coaching, just to know, hey, look, he might be struggling with something. Their parents might be divorced or whatever. I don't know. And just use an example.
Yeah.
And, that might be affecting him. And, I'm going through something that's affecting me and how I perform now. And I'm trying to get through it and learning. And I think it's just talking to people and kind of just letting it all out and understanding, how do I overcome this? Like, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah. That's spot on, DJ. That's spot on.
So we have to kind of find a way and talk to people and just try to get it out of us. But it's always going to be there, but you just got to kind of channel it away for after. Just, all right, I'm in the game now. I want to hoop. Let's get this win. And I feel good about myself. Then after, look, if I'm alone, you'll start thinking those stuff, but try to keep yourself busy, start doing something else, the other night I was outside till 11:30 shooting the ball, just in the backyard, just pump some music, just go for it. And good 2.5 hours just to clear my head, went to sleep, and I was good the next morning.
Yeah.
It's just those little things that don't let it get caught up in you. Like, damn, 0-4. Mate, I've gone 0-8 one time in a game to start the game, and I'm making my next 10 shots. Like,
your percentage becomes only 50%.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
And a lot of people are worried, I'm not shooting 50% or I'm not shooting 40. Some people want me to shoot this. Mate, this is one game. You could have this one bad game, and the next 20 games you could shoot 80, 90% and be like, damn, like, what the hell just happened? Like, all right, one game kind of changed me and how I think, and boom, you just play well. So I just think, just say it's okay not to be okay. get to know your players. Don't worry about what's going on outside, and just focus on now. Focus on that 1 hour of VC or whatever. How long the game is, and just move forward.
Yeah,
that's why I want to highlight 100% concept, not 110% because it doesn't exist. If you're going to give me 60% for whatever reason, just give me 100% of that 60%. If we can work on those ideas, we'll probably get a little bit more maximization out of the person and the team. So I think I read yesterday, the WNBL, I think it was a Fly. I don't know who it was. I was just browsing. They shot 20 more shots than the opposition and lost.
Yeah.
So when you scout that, you can either say, well, did we get beaten by a better team, or did we not? We took the good shot. We got open. We got the opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, second half has come into it. We can advance on that. But if we got the right shot and didn't make the shot, is that a positive or a negative?
I mean, it's a positive, like
100% positive.
But you just didn't make the shots on the day. It happens.
It happens. You lose games.
So your offense is working.
Yeah.
The opportunities are being created. Okay, we can break it down more and say, well, we probably should have passed that one. But in a generic content, we look so much about the misses, where I'd rather break down the first thing and say, but you got a good shot. You're 0 from 10.
Yeah.
Can you please take the next shot? Because if you stop shooting, our offense will break down.
Yeah, that's it.
They want you to stop shooting. I remember one of my boys was scouted. He was a 16% a couple of weeks in. Josh, son, right? But mind you, Josh doesn't train. Right? He just comes, he gets. But what happened was he nailed a massive 3, and the opposition goes, "Oh, good shot, 16%." And Josh goes, "I just made the shot, mate. That just broke you." And he wasn't fazed by it.
Yeah.
He would keep shooting. And we lost to a team, me and Pete, years ago. We lost a team, hit 16 threes on us. I'm talking about. They were just
in the zone.
Some guy had 4 big backs and then walked on the court and shot a 3. I'm like, it was just we played them 2 weeks later and beat them by 20.
Yeah.
They had an unusual.
Yeah, it's the beauty of sport. It's the beauty of our sport, isn't it?
So you got to know how to assess it and how to look at it. And sometimes the misses don't mean that you guys we failed.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, So going back to just what DJ was touching about before is just move on to your next one, because that 0 for 4 can be quickly become 10 for 14.
Mate, you get that one. It takes one shot. It's like golf. I love golf. I normally drink every hole, so I'm struggling.
Mate, I did mini golf on the weekend, and I was on the second hole.
You would have thrown the stick.
I was about to throw the stick because I kept hitting it up. It kept coming back to me. I couldn't get my angles right. So that was terrible. Fun. That wasn't fun.
But golf, you could have a crazy game that one good stroke makes you want to go back again. One good shot makes you want to do what? Shoot again.
Yeah.
That shot will come. But again, we've got things to deal with. It might not be the game. It might be personal or whatever. But it's easy said than done. But we've got to understand, we participate in sport for a reason, to engage it, to maybe get a mind off things, to focus, just to have that different challenging. And what I love about sport and life itself, I don't like learning every day because I think I've had to learn every day about a lot of things. Isn't it fun to learn and be challenged?
Absolutely.
Do you enjoy knowing that something happened or something you've gone through, not that you've enjoyed the moment, but when you've come out of it, how have you felt when you've come out of something?
Oh, sense of fulfillment. I mean, it could be a really difficult situation. You navigate your way through. You always probably reflect and go, could I have done things differently? But sometimes you're just really appreciative of the experience. Because that's where you learn the most about yourself, when, the chips are down or whatever, and you've had to fumble and readjust your way through something. And then you come out the other side and go, yeah, I was struggling there, but damn, it wasn't as bad as what I thought.
That's what
I have that all the time.
That's when it comes to overthinking and the emotional side versus the logical side of things, like you said before.
We've had chat about that a lot lately.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done because that's who we are. But I'm looking back now, if DJ's in my team and he makes a mistake, instead of me saying you shouldn't have done that, my first question should be, why'd you do that? Because he might have seen something that I didn't see.
What did you see?
I say, mate, let's try that again. I'll encourage you to try that again.
Yeah.
But no, we're always in discipline mode instead of trying again mode.
Yeah. I think that was something I was guilty of very early when I started coaching. Was I sort of coached it how I went about playing it. And
Nathan Lesson doesn't think the same way about how you played with how he thinks you played, mate. So there's going to be a comment on Facebook.
There'll be something. The big dog will be into me. The big dog used to get in foul trouble quite a lot, by the way. So
mate, don't worry about that.
Just go straight at him, you'd hack away.
You should play NFL.
Yeah, but what was I saying? You've distracted me.
No, you when you used to coach, you used to be focused on.
Yeah, so that took me a while to sort of wrap my head around and just accept that I've got to approach my players or each in a different way. That took so long for me to figure out because, again, use the example, if one player goes 0 for 4, I can't sort of use that same feedback or constructive sort of method the same way for each player. It's going to be different. It's going to be a different conversation, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's not always going to be the same conversation all the time, is it?
No.
Depending on the player.
Well, one player, could turn a game around in 1 minute.
That's right.
But he struggled for 10.
Mm-hmm.
He's that special player.
Yep.
DJ could probably give me 5 turnovers, but I know that, but he's the type of player that will turn that around.
That's right.
Where another kid, you think, well, it's going to break him. So let's get him off so they don't put pressure on themselves and worry about what people think.
Yeah. I've been in games before where I'm sitting there as a coach and, you got your assistant next to you and your player goes 0 for 4, 0 for 5.
So I'm
like, get him off. I'm like, no.
What's the first thing you're going to do and take him off? They won't shoot you.
You're not going to shoot or he's going to, you got to think about the long term. But if you're going to make a decision on someone, just think about the longer term impact of that decision. That's the art of coaching, I think. Maybe DJ can talk through it as a bit of a player, his experience, but that's the art for us as coaches and teachers of the game, I think, isn't it?
Well, that's why you would rather a stronger finish of a season than a strong start, because if you let your players do what they do and you find and craft who they're about, a strong finish is better than a strong start, because strong starts, you get broken down, you get scared, and they start to break it down. Find your way, get the guys confidence in what they can do, miss or made, some mistakes or not. What are your thoughts on that one?
Even if you do have a strong start, like you kind of start to figure. I wouldn't let the coach, get involved heavily with me. Like if I was a coach, I'd let the players figure out themselves. Like, because end of the day, I'm on the sideline if I'm a coach and I see what I see on the sideline. But those guys might see something different and might try to figure out their own way. And it's like, oh damn, like I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'd rather you could have either or, but I'd rather just like the players figure it out themselves with me just being there as a guide. I could say something and they'd be like, all right, we'll use that coach's thing, what he just said, but then we'll incorporate what we wanted to do.
Spot on.
Yeah.
So it's like the Armchair Expert, which I showed the choice one the other day.
Yeah.
I went through that process and people would tell me what I should have done, what I could have done. Not really. Because what people don't realize when I had my accident, people would tell me what I should have done. People would tell me what actually happened. I'm sitting there going, I'm the only one who knows what happened. And the coroner's report was close, only the coroner. So I was getting told what I should have done, could have done. Why didn't I? What, did I do this? Did I do that? Why don't I do that? I'm like,
people don't understand you were there, mate.
Yeah, and it was a real time situation, split second, and I think I'd create that scenario in a right form.
Yeah.
It's like coaches, what we might see, but they're in a real time situation. The parent, player, and the coach are in a real time situation. You've got so much time to analyze it and get fired up about it, and you see it from a different perspective.
Yeah,
but it's amazing that. I know where I was going with that, but anyway,
No, that's a good observation.
But I was leading the Armchair Experts there. It's just, I want to keep hot. That do my head in.
How do you go with the Armchair Experts, DJ?
I don't really know yet, man. I'm still trying to...
Did you just get they do my. He was going to say they do my head in, but he just changed his mind.
Yeah.
No, I'm still trying to. I'm going through something. I'm still trying to learn how to get through it. And every technique or tactic that someone offers, you got to kind of take it in and kind of learn from it. So, I mean, I'm just learning every day and trying to overcome what I'm going through. And it's hard, man. Like, don't get me wrong. So, I mean, it is what it is.
And going there without, because we don't want to highlight but like DJ or you or me, so we'll do it generic, and I'm doing with DJ. I would be careful if I'm going to give him some advice or some ideas about whatever the discussion is. I can't be putting pressure on him to do that. And if I'm wrong, I want that. You got to try and just to set, try and pick up on what they're going through. You try and pick up on how I can navigate it. But when you try and really control it and push it and bombard it, it becomes too much information for them, and then they start going, "Oh, I'm getting where do I go?" Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know I've done things wrong, and when I try and people, you can just pick up on that someone wants a bit of help and support. But you got to know when help and support becomes a problem when you start to what you should do. I have a health condition. You know how many people told me how I should deal with it?
Yeah.
So, but you've never had it.
Oh, well, we're all been in that situation.
Yeah, go and say this. My doctor, if I went and saw every osteopath, every physio, or every nerve surgeon, or whatever, how much money will I've outlaid just to go to your recommendation? We've all got this and that, but we've just got to be careful too on how we promote that information or that support without being a burden. Yeah. Or where, say, DJ is going to have to feel pressure to act on that when he might want to go down a different path, or same with you or me. Does that make sense?
That makes real good sense. Yeah, I agree.
And we all learn that ourselves. But
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna find what works for you, what doesn't. But I think when a lot of people are trying to give that feedback or that push along or that guidance, it's like do this. It's so counterproductive.
Well, in my day, we did this.
Back in my day,
you know what? I never thought I'd use that. But I've used that. Josh goes, Dad, I don't care about your day, mate.
Yeah.
This is my day.
I've done that before. Yeah, I felt like a massive idiot when I did it too.
Yeah. My problem, my son uses my days. He goes, you used to do that, so you can't tell me off for that. I said, yeah, but that's not the point, mate. You just can't. So, so what else how are we all going? So, DJ, how you feeling about you ready to fire up? You ready to go and take the world on?
Yeah, mate. I'm actually looking forward to playing and getting out there and actually hooping. And it's been a long time, and a lot of people are having me as Rookie of the Year this year, so it's kind of exciting. But
does that feel pressure?
There's a little bit of expectation, but end of the day, like that's just another accolade you can win individually. But I'm not after that. I'm after a championship for the Kings. Especially what happened to them last season. I keep preaching to them unfinished business. I'm a rookie, but I want to do my part, and winning a championship for guys who haven't won one before or got so close. And, it's only my first year as a pro, and I know I'm going to win some down the track, but, I'd rather start off the right way and actually help them and, just play my role.
Which I'm pretty sure you'll do, mate. And the word, you won't be looked as a rookie, mate. You look like you've been there for a long time. You'll just fit in and gel well, mate. That's who you are.
Yeah,
that's what I love about your style of play, your attitude, your mindset, what you do and how you go about it. You look like you've been there you look like you're a veteran, mate. And that's one thing. But I hope the pressure doesn't come from ever expecting you to be this wise. And if you don't get Rookie of the Year, your impact will still be far greater than most people in their first year of basketball.
Yeah.
You don't need Rookie of the Year to prove that. And you don't know who's judging that. But if you get that, mate, you'll be already justly deserved.
I can only see a positive for DJ's group too. I mean, obviously, the way the season ended for him last season, very controversial and a bit of unfinished business. But the people they got in there, the mix of people, like DJ, very driven, very focused. I can only see them being very strong again. And regardless of who the coaches be, they're going to get a great group.
Yeah, and to be fair, like it's like AFL, and if they should go and get it and chase it and win it, and if they don't, any team that can come out of COVID and participate, compete, and get back on the floor, that's a championship in itself. Yeah, and the ones who win that are the ones who have gone far and beyond. This ain't a normal comeback of season 2019, 2020. It's not normal.
Yeah.
Just getting it back on court is amazing. And if they can achieve that on top of that, that would be whoever wins this is it'll be an amazing
bloody good.
Like Richmond. It's amazing. So if you go for the halves, you might have done a hub. I'm not sure what's going on there. I think the travels will change or adjust to how it normally is.
Yeah.
But it's not normal. Whoever actually can do this, I don't know how they ended of last year's season, whatever. It's whoever went through COVID and got through it as a collective group.
Yeah.
Come out of it.
Yeah.
Reunited, regroup well, is going to be the best testament to any team that can win that in any sport.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. So many variables you're going to have to contend with. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Well, we're at 50 minutes, guys.
No jokes. Far out. All right. So we signing off, are we?
What do you think? Is there anything you want to say before do you want to say in the DJ before we head off, or Azza, and just to fine tune some things, or
let's hear from DJ.
DJ, yours, mate.
He's the centerpiece of this today.
I mean, just whatever people are going through life, it's okay not to be okay. I think that's the biggest one I preached, and I mean, we're getting back to a little bit of normality now, and just enjoy being able to run free and shoot the ball, and kind of just enjoy it because, man, who knows, what might happen. Like, because we're living in a world that's so much uncertainty. Time is very short, very limited, and I felt it. Last week when I lost my best mate, lost his brother. So you just gotta appreciate what you have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to sign off. I think, Dazza. I don't have much more to add than that, other than just look after each other as best we can, and if you look after each other as best you can, and as things change and evolve and move, we should be in an okay position.
Well, and that's where sport, we should use it for what it was created for. Participation.
Yeah, that's
engagement.
Enjoyment.
Yeah. They're three words. If you don't want to go through that process coming out of COVID-19, I suggest you pack up your bat and ball and go home.
Yeah.
Because we got to make sure that we create an environment so, like DJ, we can get out of this and have something to strive for and look forward to, and not be just pulled down by negative or expectation. Let's just do the three things: participate, engage, and enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't go into why, but We know DJ's got some things going on, like we all have. Always say to DJ, we're here for you. We love what you've done for the community. You've been an amazing person for us and everyone else. Your family, we're here for you every step of the way.
Yep.
Good luck with the season ahead.
Appreciate it.
We're going to miss you when you head off at Melbourne tomorrow. It was just good for you and me to catch up for a coffee the other day and have our face-to-face, which is, I love doing with you, and it's just not the same on the video.
Yep.
We're back in this year, which is good.
God, it's great.
Yeah. But DJ, we'll all go through some things in life, whatever those things are. But one thing about certain people, like I think us three, we are the ones who sort of get through that, fight through it, and find ways out of it. And we'll get the right support platform, who that may be. So we suggest everyone else, find the right people around you that support you and get through what you need to get through. That's a highlight you need to understand.
Yep, 100%.
The people around you right now, you're probably going to be the most important for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
All right, stay safe, stay well, all the best. So DJ, thank you, sir.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
We love you. Azza.
Yep.
It's about time.
About time to clean yourself up.
Yeah, we're going to have to get the disinfectant out and a few things.
Oh, jeez.
So I was a bit concerned of how we're going to treat you today. So I'm glad you're a little bit cleaner and present yourself better. So thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. You don't understand. I love you. All right, guys.
Let's get off
we
here.
are out. Talk soon. DJ, good luck with the season. Sydney Kings, all the best. And
Thanks,
can't
mate.
wait to see everyone back on court, do what they love doing. All right, we're out.
See you guys.
Au revoir.
Hey, mate.
Bye.